deadly weapons of all time are getting a makeover as modern technology puts a new spin on the ancient past. Chad Hauschnick leads the way, 1 part engineer and 2 parts mad scientist. Historian Mike Loades explores these weapons' time and place before putting Chad's creations to the test. The prehistoric blowpipe has been knocking them dead for eons. It's going to take some high-pressure hijinks, but Chad's determined to take his blowpipe to the next level.
The many secret weapons of the ninja was this, the Fukuyama, the blowpipe.
What? Mike?
Yes?
Nice trick.
Sorry about that. That was just a camera trick, but I wanted to show you that the ninja blowpipe had 2 functions. It blew darts, but they also used this blinding powder, noxious oils and ground glass to blind people temporarily, and that is the legend of the ninja disappearing.
Gotcha.
But this is not about the ninja, but it is about blowpipes.
Okay.
This is the Cherokee blowpipe. This is very much a hunting weapon for them.
Okay.
It's all about lung power, of course, but the relationship between the length and diameter of the pipe is also crucial. A long, thin pipe will have more range and power than a short, fat pipe, even though both could hold the same volume of air.
So you need something fluffy
Yeah.
on the top to give it a good air seal, and then
Nice.
you have a blowpipe.
I mean, we used to
A
play
pretty
around
simple
with,
thing.
You know, things like this when I was a kid, and of course, you know, I never threw a spitball, but I mean, you could get a pretty good wallop out of that, but not enough to really do any sort of deadly.
I mean, these were generally found in jungle areas, that sort of thing.
Right.
They would take out deer and things with things like this because
Really?
they would poison the tips. So that's the thing. You haven't got a very heavy missile,
Right.
but it generally has poison. The ninja one had poison, this has poison. And in the Second World War, then the Germans, of course, came up with this, the ultimate weapon of stealth and secrecy.
The cigarette.
The cigarette blow dart with a poison tip.
Nice.
But that's kind of on the small side.
Yeah.
I want you to build me a bigger, more powerful one. Meanwhile, however, I am going to go to the Amazon, which is where they build the biggest, baddest ones.
All right.
And I'm going to meet some Jaguar Indians, and they're going to show me how they're made and how good they are. I wonder if yours will be better.
See what we can do.
Better would be good.
I got a couple ideas already.
Remember, it's a weapon of stealth.
Weapon of stealth.
Pack a punch.
Yeah, this is a bit of a cloak and dagger thing.
I'm on my way to Iquitos in the heart of the Peruvian Amazon, where I'm meeting my guide, Charlie.
Charlie, hola. Buenos dias. ¿Cómo está?
He's going to take me even deeper into the rainforest in search of a tribe of Jaguar Indians and, of course, their blowpipes.
No. All right, so, the blowpipe. What do we got going on here? Is it a weapons system? I think it is. You know, it's the blowpipe. You know, you've got your source of compressed air, be it your lungs, a bicycle pump, a bottle of CO2, or, you know, maybe even, you know, compressed air from your shop compressor. It's a pipe of, you know, any sort, you know, length, shape, diameter, I don't know, and a dart of some kind. Not a whole lot of elements going on here, but I'm thinking there's some room for improvement. You know, the only reason that the Cherokees, the ninjas, the Amazonians, you know, only use their lungs because, well, that's all they had. And if they could have gotten more pressure, more oomph, more power out of it, you'd better believe they could. So I'm thinking that I can ramp this thing up significantly and still be mobile. I might not be quite as stealthy as the ninjas, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna pack a pretty significant wallop, such that I can afford to lose just a little bit of that stealth. I'm thinking go massive or go home. To the massive file.
The Jaguars are famous for their very long blowpipes, which they still use for hunting today.
Mike, this is the village.
And the way they make them hasn't changed for millennia.
This is a beautiful village. So these some blowpipes here?
Yes, sir. They still nowadays make this for tourists.
So they make them for the tourists? Because even this far up the Amazon, they get the occasional person dropping by the village? I quite like the look of this one. Ricardo, puedo hacerlo?
Puedo hacerlo.
Fantastic. He's going to let me have a go. My first go with a blowpipe. Oh, good. This is handy. We've got a target.
And I've got a dart.
Así?
Así, así.
Okay, so you put that in there. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Why are you laughing? That wasn't bad. Okay, now you're going to show me how it's really done. It's much, much bigger blowpipe.
Sí.
Look at that, fantastic, bravo. This is the real deal. This is a proper blowpipe. Oh. Hey, bravo!
Está bien, está bien.
This is what I want, a real, proper blowpipe. Ricardo, ¿me puedes enseñar cómo hacer la pucuna?
Sí, te puedo enseñar a hacer pucuna.
Bravo, fantastic. This man is going to show me how to make a blowpipe.
Like I said, go massive or go home. And today I've traveled far away from home to Bridgeville, Delaware, to have a peek at a fine collection of many things massive.
Now, I suppose you're wondering what we're doing here on this very nippy 1st November weekend. Well, the answer is I've come to see how you throw things just a little bit heavier than a dart. We're about to throw some pumpkins. In fact, I believe they call it pumpkin chunkin'.
Every November, this group of self-proclaimed rednecks with welders gather in this cornfield to choose the champion pumpkin chunkin'.
And most of them are doing it with compressed air, which is very similar to what I'm trying to do. There's a couple other types out here, centrifugal and a few other ones, but I don't think that's the route for me to go. I'm sticking with the air, I'm sticking with the long barrel, and I'm sticking with lots of PSI, and most importantly, lots of volume, because all the PSI in the world doesn't do you any good if you can't keep it up until you get to the end of the barrel.
Man, these guys are nuts.
Oh! Back to the drawing board, I think.
I made some friends at the Chunkin' Festival, and I'm off to visit one now. Get ready to meet Ray Tolson and his gun, the Second Amendment 2. One of the baddest pumpkin chunkins air cannons there is.
I want one. I want one. I want one. No, I want two.
I'm here to meet Ray Tolson, who is guilty of this machine, and the head of the Pumpkin Chunkin' Association, Frank Shea.
So I'm figuring these guys don't have a lot of spare change in the bank account. I know where it all went. Chad?
I'm Ray.
Ray?
Frank,
Good to meet you.
nice to meet you.
So, got some toys here, it looks like.
Big toys, big boy toys.
So,
You like to see what it does?
can we play?
Let's play. Let's throw some pumpkins.
Let's get right to it.
Come on over.
You guys have got several years of your life in here.
Well, this is pumpkin chunking for you. It's a typical air compressor pumpkin chunker right here.
I want to see this thing.
Okay.
This huge air cannon is basically just a 100-foot blowpipe fitted with a single massive steel lung. Now that's a lung with a capacity equal to 5 times the volume of the barrel.
Okay,
Let's
I'm ready.
do her.
Everybody ready?
Let's do her.
All right,
3 times.
fire in the hole.
There she goes.
Oh my, look at that thing.
You got an eye on it?
That is incredible.
Is that not amazing?
So what is the farthest anyone has ever thrown a pumpkin?
The longest distance is 34.28 feet.
I can't think that high.
Almost a mile. 3/4 of a mile.
So you guys really do go the extra mile.
We tried to.
I can't tell you how impressed I am.
Chad, listen, I'm going to have to take off. I'm leaving the hands of the expert.
Try.
And if anybody can help you, I'm sure it's Ray.
So let me understand you correctly. Now that you're all done chunking pumpkins, you're gonna turn into one.
Exactly.
All right, Cinderella.
See ya.
We'll see you soon.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks.
So, Ray, why use compressed air to toss the pumpkin?
With compressed air, you have the rapid expansion.
All right.
Like with any kind of a gas, as soon as you let it loose, it's going to expand out.
I mean, are my lungs an air compressor?
Really?
I mean, that's what's going on, isn't
Right.
it?
You're taking air in and putting it out. But it really wouldn't be an air compressor until you started restricting part of the air coming out.
Restricting? Storing it, you mean?
Restricting the flow so that you're actually storing it, because it has to build
Right, I gotta store
pressure
energy
in order to be released.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
Go right ahead.
So, here's where all your air is, right?
That's it.
We filled this tank up with that compressor over there.
Exactly.
And it's got to get from here to where that projectile, that pumpkin is, up the breech that we saw around.
To fill the onboard air tank, Ray Tolson uses a tow-behind diesel air compressor, which is capable of pressurizing that tank to over 200 psi. But it's really more about volume than it is about pressure. The whole trick is in the valve and achieving a controlled but quick release of the entire contents of the storage tank. And hopefully to do it without vaporizing your pumpkin.
How long does it take to travel that 1/4 turn?
0.2 of a second.
Sure, because the second you crack that valve, that pumpkin starts moving.
That's it.
And when that valve is open, everything's gone from the tank. Whoosh! That air comes around here, travels through this curve. Air compressor over there, those are my lungs.
Yeah.
Got it. What I'm missing is that. That's the key to my blowpipe.
So you can store enough of it.
I need to figure out how to store more energy than my lungs can store.
All right, I think I'm starting to get a better idea of where I'm headed with my blowpipe.
Well, thanks, Ray.
Ricardo is going to show me where to harvest all the raw materials.
So this is the puna tree for which they make the vacuna, their blowpipe from this wood. It's got these very strange roots.
Sí, es del árbol que camina. Sí.
He's telling me that this is called the walking tree. So these roots tend to grow on one side and the ones on the other side die down and then they come over, so it actually walks. So they make it from the walking tree. So this is good to cut? Cato?
Sí, este está verde.
What he's telling me is that this tree is too young, it's too green, and we need an older, more mature tree and seasoned timber, and he's got some of that back at the camp. So, Ricardo, vamos.
Although it's a simple weapon, the Jaguar's blowpipe is made from many different types of jungle vegetation.
¿Cómo se llama?
El árbol se llama Breacaspi.
Yeah, the rare Caspi tree. It just breaks off. So this is a very hard sap from this tree, and in order to make it into the sort of the resin that's going to seal the air joints, it needs to be boiled and cooked.
This resin's essential to create an airtight seal.
And it's got these extraordinary roots. Look down here at these roots, they're like buttresses on a cathedral. Muy interesante.
Sí, interesante para cuando se también sirve para hacer cutana y sirve para comunicar en el selva, el monte.
Like a sort of a Morse code, they can tap out signals and communicate for miles, and you can hear it echoing through the trees. So we're getting our main shaft of the blowpipe from the walking tree, and now we're getting our sealant from the talking tree. Ricardo, vamos.
And now we're looking for the best wood from which to make the darts.
De virote.
Ah, para virote.
Para virote.
So this tree is for the virote, for the darts that go in the blowpipe. Almost makes itself into darts straight away, but they're rigid. That's already got a point. They're just perfect weapons.
And so the rainforest has yielded the perfect materials to make the perfect blowpipe.
So there I was, just starting to get my head wrapped around the blowpipe, and chaos.
You know, this is just turning into one of those days. It really, really is. You know, you can't win for trying. You can set yourself on fire, you know, once and still have a good day. But any day you set yourself on fire twice is by definition a bad day. However, I have not yet developed the axiom for how many times I'm allowed to set my house on fire. You can't stack the wood up against the stove. Because when you stack the wood up against the stove, you set the house on fire.
It's been a hectic year, and the BPOR is suffering with a serious case of deferred maintenance. I do believe that immediate remedial action is required. And by the way, you know you're in trouble when spring cleaning requires a forklift and a skid steer loader. Problem.
Let me show you something.
All right, so there I was, poking through drawers, gathering parts for the blowpipe, and rats! No, really, real rats.
Check this out. The definition of a rat, of a rodent, is that his teeth never stop growing. So he has to constantly gnaw in order to keep his teeth from growing up into his skull, into his brain, or down through his jaw. So they're always looking for something to chew on. And one of their favorite things is wire. What they were doing is they were crawling around in the back of my rack and not only knocking the wires out by moving them, but they were also chewing on them. So I had to put this huge cage on the back of the stereo rack here just to keep the rats out. Gross. Man, it just makes me so...
Two birds, one stone. I've got a solution to my rat problem.
Tim. Perfect timing.
Hi, how are you?
Morning. Excellent. You got the material, too.
Mike wants us to make a blowgun, it turns out.
Yeah, I heard about
this.
this. Cool.
So I got the material.
This is it.
Well, that's a piece of pipe.
Right, that's true.
It's a start.
All right. Well, that's actually perfect because I was just telling our friends back home about the rodent problem we've been having. So, you know, why not kill two rodents with one, well, dart?
Yeah, this is kind of big, though. I mean, how are you going to wheel that around in the shop here?
Well, that is true. That could be a little... Yep, that's true. How could I have missed?
All right, obviously we got a problem with the length. We're going to have to shorten this thing up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just too unwieldy in here.
Yeah.
I have an idea.
What's that?
Since I obviously couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a boulder, what if I fire...
Multiples, yes.
So
now
I'm thinking a multiple barrel, shortened, urban jungle adapted blowpipe.
Oh yeah, Mike's gonna like this.
Ricardo begins by working on the piece of seasoned timber he had stored.
This Pona wood is incredibly heavy. It's a very dense wood. Okay, he's going to split it with this axe, okay? It's split. Okay. Oh, that just peels apart. Now these fibers in the middle are very, very soft, so presumably it's just the outside that we use. So he's got to split it again, so to get some hardwood out of there. Easily that goes. So he's simply taking off that sapwood. Been incredibly impressed in how quickly Ricardo has been able to fashion this workable stave of timber from this great log in just a few minutes.
I wonder if Mike's blowpipe needs this much fine-tuning. One barrel, 3 bores. Tight fit, perfect. Boom, bang, done, next, out of here.
All right, that's not bad. Oh, well, that works. And guess what, Tim?
What is it?
I think we just finished building the darts, too.
Just need to cut some threads into these custom pipe fittings and voila!
This is the most critical phase, creating the bore.
And what Ricardo's doing now is using a snap liner. He's marking where he's going to chisel out the bore. That bore has got to be absolutely straight and absolutely parallel. Otherwise, there's an air gap. And on that cord, he's using a dye from the achota berry. If you burst these wonderful fruit open, you find these seed pods, and you just crush them. You can see you've got this bright red dye. So now it's actually gouging out the of the blowpipe. ¿Yo puedo hacerlo?
Sí.
Gracias. ¿Es recto?
Sí, está recto, pero mal, está muy encimita, está más adentrito.
Sí,
más
so he's telling me I'm doing all right, I'm keeping it straight, but it's quite a laborious process. ¿Cuánto tiempo los dos?
Un día.
Un día.
Sí, los dos.
Yeah, so he's saying it's going to be a full day's work for me to get these two done. I can't really see Chad spending a full day's work doing a line. I guess you're kind of ahead of me at this stage, Chad.
I'm not so sure about that, Mike. Well, I've seen the too much free time version of a modern blowpipe, and I think I need to scale it down a little bit. But large or small, it all comes down to the valve.
So here's what I'm thinking. I got this pair of solenoid valves here. They're actually rated to something ridiculous like 3,500 PSI. But I don't even need that much, because my understanding of the way these things work is that it's more about rate of flow. In other words, how much volume of air or whatever gas can you deliver in what period of time? It's not about the pressure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. So, the analogy here, yeah.
Oh, that's a good portable one.
Well, right, this is a medical oxygen cylinder. I have no idea where I got it, but this tank is probably rated for at least 3,000 PSIG, pounds per square inch.
So after several days in the rainforest, both sun and rain, we finally fashioned these two splints and the central groove down the center, and it's straight as a rifle barrel. And you put them together and we fashioned the outside as well. So the outside also tapers, because with a long blowpipe you need to be able to balance it holding your hands back here, so it has to take weight off the front end. So this is the copal that we gathered in the forest the other day. Brittle and hard, but now it's been warmed. You can see it's this soft, incredibly sticky substance. And I think he's rubbing it all over the shaft of the pipe now.
Over this, he's going to wrap a binding of wombe, a type of bark.
So clearly one of the main functions of this is for the wombe to work in conjunction with the copal and create an absolutely airtight seal. But I think it would have a secondary function that here in the rainforest, obviously you don't ever want the timber to get wet, because wet timber will warp, and you always need your blowpipe to be absolutely straight.
The final stage is to whittle a mouthpiece and fit it to the pipe.
Time for a few experiments using bottled CO2 as my pressure source. I'm building a modern blowpipe.
So let's take a moment to review here. How is my Chad pipe similar, and how is it different from this blowpipe? Well, let's look at it. Okay, down here I have my lungs, right? So, these are my lungs. I just went outside and took a deep breath. And then I release the breath.
The trigger mechanism is this solenoid valve here, which controls the pressurized gas supplied via a two-stage regulator system.
First stage regulation knocks it down from the very high pressure in the bottles, approaching 3,000 PSI. That's a lot. It's then going to go to my second regulator, which is going to bring it down to my actual operating pressure, which is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 120 PSI. Then the gas is going to come through here. Some volume of gas will be stored in this accumulator, ready to go.
Pressurized gas, check. Super fast valve, check. Breech loading barrel, check. In essence, a scaled down version of Ray Tolson's enormous air cannon.
The faster the better.
And I think we're about ready to test fire this bad boy.
So I've built my blowpipe, which I'm very proud of, and we've made some darts, but it's not yet a weapon, because that going into you, well, it's annoying, but it's not going to kill you, it's not going to bring you down. So, Charlie, what we have to do now is make the curare, the poison.
Yes, this is it's a vine called abuta.
Abuta.
They take the bark out of it, then the inside then it has to be chopped and put it in a pot. This process has been made for hundreds of years by the.
Puedo hacerlo.
Sí, puede hacerlo.
Gracias. Shaves off really quite easily. So what sort of animals do they hunt with this, Charlie?
Well, some rodents, some monkeys, birds.
Do they take birds in flight, or?
No, when they prey on the bark.
When they're standing on the
tree, some macaws, some parrots. You know.
And do people in the rainforest still hunt today with blowpipes?
Of course, yes. They still do.
That's still widespread.
They still. Okay, Max. This is the other ingredient which is used for the curare stuff. The charapilla is a very special hot pepper. Esto también se usa, ¿no?
Sí, se usa.
Ricardo.
That grows around here, grows in the rainforest.
Yeah, of course, yes. They plant it around here. ¿Y cómo se lo hace?
Así se lo hace.
And he crushes it.
He crushes it.
So you just crush it with your fingers?
Yes, that's right.
So, and you just squeeze the juice in, or do you put the pulp in as well?
The whole stuff is put in
the whole stuff, but not the stem?
Not the stem, yeah.
Okay,
that's
okay.
Correct.
Let's make poison. So, I mean, how effective is this going to be?
Well,
what power does it have as a poison?
Yeah, it can paralyze, you know, first start paralyze the muscles of the animal. It goes into the blood and then kills it. Maybe 3-4 minutes, depending how strong is the poison.
And how big the animal is, presumably.
Yes, yes.
So we've got our arabuta bark and we've got our jarapilla, very hot berries. What next? Is there more to it, Charlie?
Yeah, we go for the ants. So the bullet ants. Now, one bite of this ant can give you a fever, headache. It's worse if it's more than 2, you know. Okay. We call it in Spanish isula.
Isula.
Isula. And this poison is also used mixed with the rest. Charapilla and abuta. It's one of the important ingredients also it's used.
Right. So I guess I shouldn't actually handle these things. So I'm going to let Ricardo do this bit.
Sí,
por favor. So unfortunately, Ricardo has been bitten by one of the bullet ants and he's in extreme pain. And apparently what happens is the whole arm is starting to feel paralyzed, but he's going to have a fever. The chief of the village has come up and he took some boot polish and mixed it with ashes and heated it on the fire, and he's applied that as a poultice on it. I don't know if that's going to do any good, but apparently that's one of the remedies that they now use.
He has to press his arm so the poison can't get through. That's why he's pushing it there, so the vines are.
Ricardo is going to be in pain for a while, but he's going to be okay. Once the ingredients have boiled down, we'll extract the liquid for our poison darts. Now that the blowpipe is ready, Ricardo has suggested that we go and test it in the jungle. Charlie, have you got any final tips for me?
Yes, you have to use a very special pepper.
Really? And what do I do with that?
Well, you have to put it in your mouth, you got to chew it.
Why is that?
Because it will wake you up and it gives you more energy to your at the time you blow the gun.
That is hot, Charlie. That is fire. That is fire. He's burning me. Yes.
Now that's also making my cheeks contract.
Cheeks contract.
Do you think that's going to give me a better puff?
Better puff.
Okay, let's see. Blowpipes are weapons of stealth. And one of the advantages of having a very long pipe is that you can feed it through the undergrowth and still stay camouflaged. Very pleased with that.
So, the blowpipe, it's stealthy, it's accurate. I'm very pleased with this shot. Chad, you've got a hard job to beat.
I think it's ready. It's time to put this devilish dart delivery device through its paces and see just how much oomph she's really got. And a little red laser sight to instill fear in the hearts of rodents everywhere.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens. We'll see where it goes. Okay, is everybody clear? All right, fire in the hole.
All right, there's the penetration.
How far? Did you make a mark?
2.5 inches.
3, 2, 1.
Look at that one. This is like 5 inches. But you've just smoked all the cotton.
Here's the cool part.
So, Tim, you learn anything today?
I did not learn anything today.
Yeah, me neither.
It's a good thing this isn't on the Science Channel.
I had a great time today.
Me too.
You think we're done?
I think this is good enough. I think this will hold up to anything you can throw at us.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, I've got it! Here's the idea.
Interchangeable barrels. For close quarters, I'll use the short triple-bore scatter dart barrel with laser assist. And the 72-inch barrel has significantly increased range and power.
It's every man's weapon, right? Poor man, rich man, slow man. The possibilities are limited only by one's imagination.
Urban home junkyard protection weapon.
I've learned a great deal about traditional blowpipes, and it will be hard to leave this paradise. But I am curious to see what Chad has been up to.
Oh, that one's a little tight.
Too tight? All right, make it looser.
One moment, sir. Alrighty, entree.
It's safe.
Yeah, that one was definitely a little tight. All right, so
Hey.
How are you?
hey, Mike.
Welcome
Good to
back.
see you. Good to see you. What do you got? What's this?
Tim and I are just having a little game of darts here.
You call that a blowpipe?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah, look at that.
a blowpipe.
That's the real deal.
You call that a blowpipe? This is a blowpipe.
I like that.
I'm sorry, Mike, but I think I've got you beat by a good. I think I got you by a good 6-8
Yeah,
inches.
I've got it by 6 inches. Telescope, that's very good because that allows you to move around in small spaces.
I get, the nice tight. And then when you really need the distance, then you can drag it out.
You could almost calibrate it, or like a trombone slide. You could change your range.
Trombone. Now there's an idea. We haven't tried that yet.
But none of this is very chattified, is it? I mean, I like the telescope, but it's weak. It's weak.
I've been. I agree, but
Show them the heart of this beast.
I've got the iron lung going on here.
Artificial lung.
Yeah, and it's going to be 100% mobile, utilizing a high-pressure gas source I made from a repurposed medical oxygen tank.
I bet you I'll get 100, 200 rounds out of the tank before she goes. But I think that this barrel is a little too small. I was actually getting much better results with
the jumbo.
The jumbo.
Okay.
And this one's got
Which is just the bigger, fatter tube.
with about 3.5 hours worth of attention paid to the bore. With this barrel here, I can promise you that not only can I put a dart through the dartboard, I can put a dart through the backstop, that steel door of the dartboard.
I would like to see that.
Well, I'll show you. I'd like to show you. Hey, Tim, can you mount this up? I'm gonna go crank up the air compressor. Right?
Can he really do that? Has he done that before?
I have not seen that particular move.
Yeah, so that could be a little bit.
We'll see. I don't know.
Hey! Get it, Chris!
Going up.
Oh man! Another one.
Another what?
I don't know what's going on, but I guess it's the cold weather outside and the rats are coming up out of the terra firma and in here. It has been a real problem lately.
Would you like me to fix the problem for you?
Well, actually, there is one other barrel that I forgot to show you. It's a triple.
That is very good. So you have a rat problem.
I do.
You have a triple shooting blowpipe, but I have this. Why don't we have a challenge? I'll use this, you use that. Let's see who gets the most rats.
Okay, I'm in.
But before we do that, show me this thing through the door.
I actually sort of don't want to shoot it through the door, and I'm pretty sure that it would go through the door. So why don't we meet back here tomorrow? Out back, set something up, get a little moving targets, and see how the armor-piercing rounds will do.
It's a deal.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
I think he couldn't get it through the door.
Moment of truth. Mike and I go mano a mano, blowpipe to blowpipe.
Yesterday, you told me that you, with your blowpipe, could penetrate that dartboard and your door.
That is true.
I want to see it.
And you will. But I didn't really feel like ruining my dartboard or the door, so I have this car hood here. Is that an acceptable, suitable replacement? It's pretty heavy gauge steel.
That's pretty exciting. If you could get a blow dart through a car hood, I will be impressed.
No problem. Okay, no, I'm ready.
All right.
You ready?
All right.
All right, rounds down range, fire in the hole. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Sweet fancy Moses.
All the way through.
All the way through. That's just
it's on the floor.
You have a hole. Clearly very impressive. Clearly, this could not do that. It's probably slightly academic, because you've got a lot of power there.
Yes.
But we should just go through the process and test for distance.
Absolutely.
Traditional versus the chattified. You're going to get mobile.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it.
Going mobile.
You have to say yours is looking a little more cumbersome than mine.
Well, yeah, but there's always a trade-off.
So, Old technology versus new technology.
Once again.
Once again. Okay, this is a good starting point.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, it gets there. It doesn't really have the penetration.
Right.
I grant you.
Well, that's where the poison comes in, right?
The poison comes in.
Yep. Let's go for the telescopic single.
Telescopic single.
Okay. All square.
Good eating tonight.
All square.
All right, so we're 1 for 1.
1 for 1.
Another 10 paces?
Oh,
I'll go 20 if you want.
5, yeah, I know you will.
All
But
right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4, 5. All right, 1 for 1.
Ooh.
Not bad.
We
Not
have
bad.
that just but look at that. And I'm on my 3rd dart and you still haven't loaded. And you know, the whole deal with blowpipes, because they're a silent weapon, a weapon of stealth, if you miss, you haven't disturbed the animal or whatever you're going for. So you do get your 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th goes before the other guy gets a chance to do that.
Let's go for the triple, Tim. Is that loaded?
That's ready to go.
All right.
Whoa!
I'd hate to be that rat.
But that was an impressive spread.
You want to ratchet it up even more, or?
I think that's the limit of my range, but I'd like to see
Let me
what
get the
you
big
can do.
barrel. Let's see what Big Tom can do.
Big Tom, oh, he's already going back. Certainly got the power.
And a punch.
Certainly got the power.
And the punch.
Well, I concede I am now out of range, and you've clearly got a lot more.
But it's very
predominantly, the real disadvantage is the stealth. It's making a lot of noise.
Well, that's because I've got it, ramped way up. I think that, if I dialed this down to, certainly the powers of yours, I mean, I'm thinking that I'm a lot farther away, so I can get away with a little bit more sort of,
Well, why don't we go and test it?
So, here it is, our target.
It's a target, okay, that's not a blowpipe.
I've got a device called an RTA, real-time analyzer, okay? And we can measure the maximum sound pressure level over any given period of time. So I've got a challenge for you. We sneak around, and whoever makes the most noise is the loser.
So, in very simple terms, this is a machine that is going to measure the decibels that the rat will hear or sense.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that microphone is all the way over there at the rat, and it can hear that. Watch. Very sensitive microphone.
Ready, Mike? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's all you.
Now that doesn't count. Got it right.
You hit the bell. It was your dart that came and hit the rat. Your poison might have killed him, but you hit the bell.
So you got 56 on the walk-in, and then you had about 68 on the blow.
On the blow. Okay.
I'm not sure the bell was any louder than the blow.
There's your challenge.
Okay. To the quiet suit.
To the quiet suit.
Okay, you look stealthy, but let the machine decide.
Okay, I'm going to reset this, and you're off.
Yes! Very good. You got him and his friends.
I think I got him not once, not twice, but 3 times.
I think what impressed me most, though, was that you could be so quiet for so long.
Got a 55.7 on the sneak up, similar to yours. So it's a tie on the sneak up, but 86 on the blast.
86.
Yeah, but I
much higher.
hit the microphone. I went all the way through the rat.
I think that's possibly true. You
But he
probably
devastated the
went
rat.
through and hit the microphone.
I don't think it would matter much either because, he'd be done. He'd be dead.
That's much quieter than I thought. I have to say that it's a little bit like a sort of cumbersome air gun rather than a blowpipe, but it's ingenious. It's ingenious, as are the others, the telescopic and the big barrel with huge power. But I have to say, ultimately, I'm a little disappointed.
And why is that?
Because I expect bigger from you.
Ah, I think I'm going to show you something, if you're available tomorrow, that might just tip the massive scale a wee little bit.
You're going to like this
in my favor.
Yet one more blowpipe?
Yet one more.
I'm in. Send me directions.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, I thought my Chad pipe did pretty well against Mike's Amazonian pipe. But it seemed to leave him wanting more.
But I have to say, ultimately, I'm a little disappointed because I expect bigger from you.
Ah. Well, alrighty then. Bigger he shall have. We're back with the Second Amendment 2 to see if we can't ramp things up a bit. And Ray Tolson has agreed to give the pumpkins a day off to give our blowpipe ammo a try. Bigger barrel, bigger rack.
5-foot aerodynamic. Patriotic dart of death.
Dart of doom.
We've got an apples and oranges situation here, trying to launch a PVC dart from an air cannon designed to fire roundish things which fit relatively snugly in the barrel. What we need to do is create a gas seal so the pressurized air expanding towards the end of the barrel pushes or propels the dart forward rather than just flowing around it and past the aerodynamic dart. So as not to affect the flight of the dart, the gas seal plug, often called a sabot, must drop away once the dart has exited the barrel. I'm a bit worried about all this, so we're going to test several different sabots.
So, Ray, what is the strangest thing that you think you've ever shot out of your air cannon here? Are we approaching that territory as we speak?
Yeah, I think we pretty well are.
We had a lot of trouble with our first round of sabot plugs. I think you would call that spontaneous self-destruction. So this is phase 2 of the sabot plug trials testing phase. We have sandbag sabot. This is your basic sort of theatrical sandbag, which we have encased in this PVC material, which is used primarily for, well, lining shower stalls.
I'm scared of that one. Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, that's sweet.
It doesn't stand a chance.
Sweet and dandy.
No, it's after Cedar Mountain, but before the country store. There's actually a little dirt road right across the street from the country store that's...
I can't see the sign.
Oh my God.
Good morning. Why have you brought me to another empty field?
I figured it was about time I returned the favor.
Is that a blowpipe? Oh.
And we've still got another 60 feet.
Cannon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not exactly stealthy.
Well, it could be when you consider its range.
Which is?
A mile.
Oh my goodness.
Easily.
So you could creep up a mile away, even did you make this in your shop?
Well, I had a lot of help. Let me introduce you to Ray Tolson. He's actually the builder of this apparatus.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Very pleased to meet you. Ray has a wonderful machine. What's your contribution to this?
Tim and I just thought it would be a lot of fun to see sort of how big we could actually scale, you know, the blowpipe concept up.
Because this isn't really a blowpipe, but it's using air, and air is clearly it's a pneumatic thing, yeah.
With it. So we've got a few little surprises.
Aha, there's Tim.
Yeah.
Tim, good morning.
Mike, we meet again.
You would be behind the scenes somewhere.
You told us that we should go big. Is this big enough?
Well, it's pretty big.
We took you at your word.
But I don't think flying fruit really does it.
No, it doesn't. So that's what we got here. We got darts.
Yeah, let's check this out. All right, let's do this thing.
I'm chucking ready.
All right. To the gun.
Well, looking at your missiles, if this doesn't work, at least you can get a job as a plumber. I see our friend the rat is there.
You said to go bigger, so we got a bigger rat.
Yep. Yeah,
bring it on, Ray.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Victory is ours! The first shot! Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Wait. Let's check for vitals. Check for vitals.
Oh, Ratso. Look at Stimpy. Oh. Where's the rest?
Hello.
I mean, you just don't get that lucky on your first shot ever. You know, everything I've ever done in my life that I've sort of been, you know, happy with or proud of has just sort of come out. There's no, oh, yep, there's the shrapnel. See it in there? Yeah.
On the other side. Oh, yeah.
So I would say the cause of death was catastrophic blunt force dart trauma. Take that!
Ray, that's a fabulous machine. And it shows the power of pneumatics, of air.
Absolutely.
At the ultimate level. But I have to wonder what my friend Ricardo would think about it. He, you know, you have had the help of all this technology. And yes, that is impressive. But there is so much to be said for him living in the Amazon and crafting those things and with skill and stealth. And he could have taken you all out. The 20 minutes you were busying around loading that thing, he could just...
Assuming he hadn't froze to death first. It is a bit colder here than in the Amazon.
That's for sure.
I think it is absolutely positively fair to say that we were quite successful in stripping the blowpipe of all of its simplicity.
Yeah.
We completely removed it, you know, beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Except fun.
We did have fun doing it. That is certainly true. Well put, Mr. Makepeace.
So, it was fun, and it was well done. Gentlemen, it's been an education.
Ray.
Dr. Tolson?
Thank you.
That was a blast. A real blast.
The sun is set, it's getting cold and dark, but I've got one more missile left, and that rat is going down.